Happy Friday. Welcome to Conservation Fridays with the Barry Conservation District. Today we have Leslie Warner with the Farm Service Agency. Leslie is the County Executive Director in Barry and Ionia Counties for the USDA Farm Service Agency. She has been in that position for 11 years and with USDA for 13. She has a bachelor's degree in animal science from Michigan State University and a master's in crop science from University of Illinois. Outside of work, she raises sheep and goats on her small farm just south of Belding.
Thank you, Rachel, and thank you for inviting me to share some information about Farm Service Agency today.
Okay.
So I'm going to start today, and we will just talk a little bit about the Farm Service Agency, what we do at FSA, an overview of some of the programs that we offer, the process of establishing your farm records, and then any questions or comments that we've got at the end. And my name is Leslie Warner. I'm the CED in Barry and Ionia Counties. My email is there. It is my full name, leslie.warner@usda.gov. And then also the telephone numbers for both the Ionia and the Barry offices. I split my time between Ionia and Barry. So I would recommend folks just call the office that they are farming in and they can connect with me. They'll track me down. So we'll just start just broadly. The Farm Service Agency is a division of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So we are the federal government, and we provide programs and loans to farmers, ranchers, and agricultural partners in the food, fuel, and fiber industries. So just to note there, food, fuel, and fiber is really what we're limited to. That comes into play sometimes with our producers who are raising horses. So generally, we don't really have any programs that are available outside of that food, fuel, and fiber areas. But your best bet is to just give the office a call and discuss your situation. So the USDA is a big place, and there are a lot of people working for this agency. I just wanted to take a moment to show where FSA falls underneath. So we are underneath the Food Production and Conservation Division, along with our partners at the Natural Resources Conservation Service, who are co-located in our service centers. So we can help direct questions to any other agency, but we are just a small part of all the things that happens at USDA. So Farm Service Agency, we've been helping producers all the way back to the New Deal program. So we came out of the New Deal, the Agricultural Adjustment Act. That's a picture of President Roosevelt signing that bill into law. That's what kicked off this. And we've had many different names throughout the years. Most recently, the ASCS, we still get called that occasionally. But we've been at this for a long time. Again, I just wanted to run through the folks that people would most likely be working with locally here in Barry County. Myself, the county director, our farm loan manager is Sarah Pasine. She's headquartered out of Ionia, but services a large part of Western Michigan. In Barry County, we have two program technicians. We abbreviate them as PTs. That's Natalia Huey and Sally Rowe. And then also our county committee members, Jeff Butler, Ken Osborne, John Mater, and Kathy Kulikowski is our county committee advisor. She's a non-voting member. Her job is to ensure that we treat everyone equitably in the county. So I briefly wanted to just discuss that county committee system because it is so unique in the federal government. The county committee is who administers our programs here locally. So county committee members are elected. They serve 3-year terms. Each area of the county has its own representation. And they are the folks that anything that I approve, they have to delegate that authority to me. They are our eyes and ears out in the county. They make sure that what we're doing in the office is reflective of what's actually happening out in the field. So we are truly a grassroots organization. We are controlled by local producers. And those folks really do make a difference. They allow us to submit, accurate reports of what's happening out in the country. So right now we are discussing the lack of precipitation that we've been receiving. It's been a discussion that's been on the top of our mind with county committee. We are always, if anyone is interested in running for county committee, please contact me. We always are looking for folks to fill out that ballot. So that's my little plug. If you're interested in learning more about county committee, please reach out to me. Okay, so I'm going to take a minute and discuss some of the programs that we offer at FSA. This is going to be a very quick overview. We have a tremendous amount of programs, all with their own acronyms that we administer here. My caveat is that the Farm Bill, the 2018 Farm Bill, is set to expire on September 30th of this year. So I know this is being recorded. If you are viewing this later, I would recommend that you contact us because the provisions that I discussed today might not be what's currently happening. So that's my little disclosure. Please contact us. Okay, so one of our biggest programs throughout the entire state is the ARC and PLC program, the Agricultural Risk Coverage and Price Loss Coverage programs. This is our commodity program. Commodities are corn, soybeans, wheat, sunflowers, those type of crops. Our payments in the ARC PLC programs are on base acres, so not what is actually planted each year. Those base acres were established during a set period. Not all farms have base acres, and it was based on what was historically planted and reported to FSA. The ARC programs, ARC County and ARC Individual, are based on revenue. So losses in both yield or price could trigger a payment. And the price loss coverage program is solely on price. So these programs, producers sign up annually and the payments trigger based on the current conditions. Payments are not guaranteed under the ARC and PLC programs. We have quite a few disaster programs. The ELAP program is on honeybees and farm-raised fish predominantly. Tree Assistance Program, TAP, is on our producers who have orchard crops or nut crops if they lose trees due to a natural disaster, which is a broad theme with our programs. The losses have to be due to a natural disaster. Producers can get assistance. The Non-Insured Crop Disaster Program, Crop Disaster Assistance Program, which we abbreviate as NAP, is an insurance-like product that is available to crops that are not covered by traditional crop insurance. Crop insurance that's managed through the Risk Management Agency, RMA. So in Barry County, the crops that are insurable are corn, soybeans, wheat. So we are covering those crops that are not insurable. There are very specific deadlines for these programs. So if you grow or produce any of these crops or animal products, the best thing to do is to contact us before you have a disaster so that we can establish your farm records and you are fully aware of when these deadlines are. The next programs are livestock programs, the Livestock Forage Program and the Livestock Indemnity Program, which can provide assistance when there is a loss due to a natural disaster of our forages or the actual animals themselves. Again, I would really encourage you to reach out before you have a loss so that we can discuss these program provisions. The next section we have are our price support programs. So our dairy program, the margin protection program, marketing assistant loans are for our producers of those commodity crops, corn, soybeans, and wheat. That allows producers to get a loan using their crop as their collateral and allow them to store that crop and hopefully market it at a point when the price might be a little better. So outside of that harvest period. But allow them to have some cash on hand when bills are coming due. Loan deficiency payments are a program that we haven't had much activity in, fortunately. That is when prices are very low. We can provide assistance to producers. At this point, prices for wool are low enough that they are triggering LDP payments. So if you are a sheep producer and are producing wool, I would again recommend that you contact us. There are quite a few deadlines that you've got to meet to be eligible for those payments. Right now, the LDP for wool is 40 cents a pound. Again, and if this is being recorded and you're watching this later, please check with us on current rates. The farm storage facility loans, and that ties in with our sugar storage facility loans. We don't have much activity for the sugar storage in Michigan or in Barry County, but our farm storage facility loan is a really broad program that allows producers to get a loan at a federal interest rate, which is typically less than what commercial loan rates are, to construct new construction of a storage facility. So this is typically grain bins, but recently that has expanded quite a bit. We can now do farm storage facility loans on trucks for vegetables, bulk tanks for dairy producers, freezers for meat producers. There's quite a few opportunities. We can do pack lines for maybe handling equipment for fruit producers, hay barns. There are quite a few, again, rules and requirements to be eligible for these programs. So give us a call if any of these things sound like they might be applicable to your operation. Give us a call. And then our organic certification cost share program is a program that allows us to provide some reimbursement of the expenses of getting organic certification. So that's typically a program that producers apply for every year that they are organically certified. We have quite a few conservation programs. Our biggest one is the Conservation Reserve Program. We abbreviate it CRP. CRP has been around for a long time. There are two options in it. Our general sign-up period, which is a competitive process. Producers have to submit a bid. Their offer generates a value of points. And if the offer meets the national threshold for points, then the offer can be accepted. And that is during a certain period of time, typically in the spring. The sign-up period is announced, but it's not the same period every year. Alternatively, we have our continuous sign-up period, which means that producers can sign up for this program at any time. CRP in general, it's a program that allows you to enroll your farmland for a 10 to 15 year period. The farm has to have cropping history. So that is one of the biggest and first requirements. So we are taking land out of active farm production and setting it aside into a conservation reserve program for 10 to 15 years. That's something that we can look up in the office and see if the ground has been reported to a commodity crop, corn, soybeans, wheat, or in some cases, a long rotation of alfalfa or hay. So it's very specific on whether you qualify or not. We pay an annual rental rate and then cost share part of the establishment expenses. There are many different practices that are eligible for the CRP program, things like grassland plantings, wildflower plantings, trees, shrubs. There's quite a few options depending on what your specific need and desires are. We can do filter strips to protect water. We can do grass waterways to help assist with reducing erosion. There's quite a few practices. Some other programs are our Farmable Wetlands Program, State Acres for Wildlife Enhancement SAFE, that's a part of CRP, and then our Emergency Conservation Program, which can assist with if your property is damaged due to a natural disaster and you need cost share assistance to restore it back to what it was prior to the emergency. That's where that program can come into play. We also have farm loans. I'm not responsible for the farm loans. We have a farm loan manager who handles our farm loans. Farm loans we have operating loans, which are for expenses that go along with being a farmer, and then also farm ownership loans, so purchasing loans. Our loans can be direct, where we lend the money directly, or through a partner, through a guaranteed loan. We have microloans, youth loans. We have targeted funds for underserved and beginning farmers and ranchers, down payment assistance, emergency, conservation loans, and land contract guarantees. If you're interested in a farm loan, I would recommend that you reach out to our farm loan team, which is Sarah Pasine, our farm loan manager, and Corey Shattuck, who is our farm loan officer. They're headquartered in Ionia. However, if you contact the Barry County office, we can get them in, we can connect you with them. So if you're interested in these programs, what's your first step? Give us a call, schedule an appointment. We are open 8 to 4:30 at our location on South Hanover Street. We share an office with our partners of the NRCS Conservation District, also the Secretary of State. Give us a call. You can come in. We're open 8 to 4:30, like I said. But for your best service, I would recommend you make an appointment. Then we can have the programs that you might be most interested in. We can have fact sheets ready for you, and just have some preparation done. There is our phone number, 269-948-8037. And let's make an appointment. At your appointment, the first thing we'll do is identify where your land is. If you're leasing the land, we will need a copy of the lease to associate you with the property. If you own the land, we'll need proof of ownership. So that proof of ownership could be a recorded deed, or if you've owned the property for a significant period of time, like a couple of months normally, we can check the Ionia or the Barry County parcel record and use that as our verification. But if it's something that you've just purchased, a copy of a recorded deed is the best document to move forward. So what we'll do, we will assign your land a farm number if the property doesn't already have a farm number established. If it's historically been a farm, most likely we already have a number recorded for it. And that farm number is really the first step to being eligible for USDA benefits. In just about every program, you've got to have a farm number. There's a copy of a map there. I do have the permission of this landowner to share that image. Our yellow lines are our field boundaries. So we will identify the exterior boundary of the property, which is the parcel boundaries. And then we will subdivide your property into the different land use areas. Our maps, that yellow line is our field boundaries, and our maps automatically generate acres. So we can get you that valuable information as well. Each program that we administer has its own requirements for your producer eligibility. So some of the things we might require are you to certify that your compliance with our wetland provisions, that you agree that you will not destroy a wetland or farm a wetland area. Some of our programs require an income certification, that you certify that your adjusted gross income is below a threshold. At this point, that threshold is $900,000. Again, Farm Bill changes, that value may change. You may be required to submit a farm business plan, which is where you identify where your labor and management is coming from, if that's something you're providing, if it's something that you're hiring, and then also your land, capital, and equipment. And you may need to certify to your foreign and minor person provisions. There are some programs that we can offer to foreign producers, and that's just program specific, and we'd be happy to talk to you about that individually. So one of the things before I stop for questions is I just want to remind everyone, July 15th is our acreage reporting deadline. So the vast majority of our programs require that you report your acres. So if you're growing crops, and crops could also include honey, maple syrup, you have to report your acres. Each crop has a different acreage reporting deadline. The majority of our spring planted annual crops is July 15th. There are a couple other crops like wheat, honey, maple syrup that have different dates. And we are happy to go over those deadlines with you. But I just wanted to stress right now, the next thing on our horizon is this July 15th deadline. So give us a call. If you're growing crops, we can get you a farm number, we can get your crops reported, and that really is the first step to program eligibility with FSA. So that's all I have for prepared information. My contact information is there. Farmers.gov is the website that covers all of our information. The USDA information specifically for farmers. It has information for FSA, NRCS, rural development, crop insurance on there. I would recommend that you go there, you visit there. There's an overview of just about all of our programs. You can download fact sheets and learn more. And of course, we're happy to provide you with that same information. My email is there. We do also send a monthly newsletter update. It'll say Barry County FSA updates once a month that highlights some of the new things that are coming out. If you send me an email, I can get you subscribed to that monthly newsletter. So, and again, if anyone is interested in running for county committee, that nomination period opens up June 15th. I can get you a nomination form. Contact me if you have any questions, would like more information about that. So with that, does anyone have any questions for me?